Hello, my LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube community. This is Jen Ochnen. I'm so happy to be back live with you today and to introduce a brand new live stream series that I am so excited to share with you. It's called the Modern Midlife Women Live. And what I want to talk about in these times together is all about that transition for women. When we get to be 40, we get to be 45, and those hormones start changing. People call it's perimenopause, it's menopause, it's midlife, it's hormonal shifts. It can be one or none of those things. But what it does bring to us is it brings a lot of shifts, both in our hormone levels, how we're feeling about our bodies, how we're feeling about ourselves, and just kind of where we are in life. And so I wanted to have a series where we could explore this from kind of a mind, body, spirit perspective and really focus on professional women and the challenges that we face as we go through perimenopause and menopause. So in this series, what you can expect to see is me bringing live different guests or hosting solo shows where I could be talking one day about, what is menopause and some things that you can do to relieve symptoms in the workplace. Another day, we could be talking about what happens when you're considering making a change in your career, right? Because you have all this free time, kids are off in college or they're starting jobs and they don't need you like you did. So you can take some dreams, thoughts, ambitions that maybe you had pushed aside in your younger years, and it's time to revisit those and see, do they still align with your beliefs, with what you will want to accomplish in this life that we have. So I am so excited as my premier guest to introduce you to Andra Wochesen. Andra, I hope I got that right. And she is basically an energy and embodiment coach. Her mission is to support entrepreneurs and leaders who want a deeper connection to their inner power and presence, their soul gifts. So really they can use this in their businesses, in their lives as a vehicle for greater impact. And she helps women clarify their next iteration and helps clear anything blocking them for creating it. So, Andra, I want to welcome you to the show and thank you so much for spending your time with me today on this first episode.
Yay, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me here as your first guest, and I'm happy to connect with you and your audience.
Oh, wonderful. So, as we get going today, as you join the conversation, go ahead and put in comments. I'll be checking the comments frequently, as well as maybe redirecting for folks that kind of come in live. And if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and drop a hashtag replay in the comments so I can be sure and check back any questions that you have for either one of us after we're completing the live stream episode today. So how I want to first kick this off is, can you share with the audience a little bit about, what is it that you do and how did you come into this as your professional calling?
Sure. It's a journey like many people have. I started off as a teacher and I have a pretty extensive background with the body. And so I was a phys ed teacher and it felt good and then it didn't feel good. And so I left that, which is actually not that common to do, transitioned into some body work, Pilates, Reiki, energetics, and really felt super aligned with that. And then as I was working with people in a one-on-one capacity, I really became aware of my intuitive ability to sense actually what was happening in their body and energy. And I really had this passion to work more deeply in that capacity. So I still sort of work using the body to help people get crap out of the way, basically. But the work that I do really is energetic. It's very much coaching focused. It's very about helping people get to the depth of who they are, connect to their power. And really my biggest mission is to help people, and my own mission, obviously, my own path and journey is to be the fullest expression of myself, show up in my greatest power, shine as big as I can. And this feels like the vehicle for me to do that. And it is sort of what I do with people as well. So really for me, it's been an evolution of myself, a continual deepening of my connection to myself, my truth, my calling, what's pulling me next, and then sort of following those breadcrumbs. So for me, it's been it was a bit dramatic, I would say, teaching, like quitting teaching mid-year. That's kind of a big deal. But other than that, it's actually been quite a very fluid, continual process of elevating what I do. And realigning it, continually realigning it to who I am and what I want to do and how I want to share my gifts.
Fantastic. I love that. And I think I can really, I guess, identify with that as in the past year and a half, I've been using a modality for myself and my clients called hypno breath work, really to just use breath work as a way to quiet our minds and to get still and to really think about, pose questions to yourself and let your intuition come through. Because I think a lots of times we ask ourselves what we should do when we're feeling chaotic or we're feeling, our minds are feeling cluttered. And if we just stopped and took a breath, took several breaths and listened, we know what the right answer is if we just get calm and centered and feel it. So I love that we interacted in that first conversation that we had. I think it came through a lot of similarities that we're working with in our clients. So,
And I
well,
do think that, I was just going to say the
no,
midlife time is, it is a bit of a rebirth, right? There's a chance for, so it's like you might be going along fine, and then all of a sudden, like there are lots of things shifting, which you'll speak to. I mean, there's hormones, there's life changes, there's kids leaving parents, all this stuff. Fatigue with your current path or career, right? And so it's actually this beautiful time to reinvigorate and realign with who you are and what you want. And so I love that we're kind of combining this, because we are very holistic beings, right? And so
yeah,
it's our bodies change, our energies change, our focus changes, our clarity on what we want to, how we want to spend our life is sort of pivoting often at this time of life. So I think it's a really beautiful collaboration, and with us, but also within each woman, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure. I like to say that midlife is your launch pad for reinvention.
Mhm.
Because you're at a point, lots of women are divorced or they're looking for love or they're looking for in their existing marriage, right? If their hormones have plummeted, right, they're just not feeling as sexy as they used to. This impacts what happens in the bedroom. That impacts the quality of the relationship that they have with their partner, their spouse, and taking time to examine that and deal with that. I mean, I experienced menopause at age, 48. So if I thought that my life was over then, gosh, I got, 30, 40 more years of life left to do. So what is it that I want to do in that time? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up every day for myself, my family, my friends, to really enjoy this time? And I see it so much with my clients that they don't take that time to consider. And they're just going through the motions every single day because I'm too busy, I'm too stressed, I can't stop and think about it. So is that typically what you see in a lot of your women clients at this stage in their lives?
Yeah, I mean, women hold a lot, right? We actually have the capacity to hold a lot. And so, and it's almost intuitive that we do this. And we actually can become very saturated with this, right? And so you're holding energy for your family, for your partner, for your children, for your business, for your career, whatever it is. And so, yeah, it's almost, yeah, some people are burned out and fatigued, and they know it. And then there are other people who don't actually know it, but it's almost like you can feel the energy of it. There's almost like a depression of energy, not being depressed specifically, but a lowering of the energy because you've been holding so much and actually for so long. So it's a really beautiful gift to give yourself a minute or two actually to really drop into yourself and make yourself actually the priority, right? And that is
Yeah,
obviously only going to serve everybody else. So.
absolutely. I like to say, it's time to put the oxygen mask on yourself first,
Mhm.
right? That's why they say it. That's why they
Sure,
say it.
yes.
So we're going to do something that's, I hope, interesting for the audience, and definitely I'm excited about it. But we're actually going to spend the next part of this session where you basically do a session with me here on the live stream. So do you mind kind of setting it up for the audience, what we're going to do next?
Yeah, sure, sure. So I'm going to be doing like a little mini sort of soul gifts reading with you. And so the soul gifts, I connect to your Akashic records. Everyone has Akashic records. They are just sort of like an energetic soul database. So I'm going to leave it at that so that it's like literally like this information, and you can actually access your own, but most people don't know how to do that. And so I do know how to do that. And so with permission, I'm able to go in and retrieve this soul level information. And it's fantastic because when I'm sharing it with people, it's very validating for me, but it's so validating for the people receiving. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, and every time people are like, I'm going to say blown away. There's an intuitive knowing of the truth of what I'm sharing with them, but they haven't quite heard it in this way before. And there's such a deep resonance. So it's really beautiful to witness. And so I hope to give you little snippets of that in our time today. And so I'm going to be sharing with you really an overview of your soul gifts, how you're designed specifically to thrive, both personally and professionally. And so I would just invite you to wear both hats as I share a little bit of this, and you can bring in some context if you'd like. But yeah, it's like, how do I use this information to fuel myself? And so for the listeners, right, it's this idea. Obviously, your soul gifts are different than Jen's, but you may actually be maybe similar to her. So just sort of listen for resonance. But how do I use these gifts to fill my cup, to really fill myself, and really to amplify it's my vital force energy, so that I have energy, I have passion, all of these things. And then how can I apply these soul gifts to my external life? And so whether that is in your profession, your business, even your family, your health, there's lots of different ways that we can apply these soul gifts. So that's just my invitation for you, is to, a lot of times people hear this stuff, especially when I work with entrepreneurs, and they're like, okay, how do I put this in my business? And how do I serve more people in this way? And that's all amazing. And how do I fill myself up? It's like actually what we're talking about a lot today. And so, yeah, I really invite you to drop into that for yourself. So I can just dive right in, or do you want to set up a little something for you, or shall I just dive right in?
Well, I guess the only thing I would say is, so for people who haven't been following my profile, I was in corporate America for 20 years. And about 10 years ago, with my own hormonal health journey, I did a complete pivot, left corporate, and started on a path to coaching others through wellness, focusing first on weight loss and then becoming a certified integrative health practitioner, so I could really help people heal at the root cause level and discover, okay, why am I overweight? Why am I exhausted? Why is my mind spinning all the time? So I've been doing that and evolving my practice since then. So I'm really in my 10th year. So I think this is really a great time to do this, as far as kind of a shakeup and maybe a pivoting or a slight correction maybe in how I'm showing up for my clients and showing up for my business.
Yay. So yeah, and I always say you'll have the recording of this, so just let this wash over you, so that you actually just, because this is informational, I'm going to give it to your conscious mind, but it's also sort of energetic. Subconscious is going to understand this. So just let it wash over you as well.
Okay.
So really great. So I love, people always have, you have a unique, I have not actually seen this combination specifically. So I love that I've sometimes had some overlap, but most of the time it's a very unique blueprint that people have. And so for you, one of your biggest gifts, or your main primary gift, is embodiment, or creation, or manifestation, actually. So you're designed to help people to enjoy the physical experience. So you yourself are designed to enjoy being in your body, being in this world, enjoying the physical things of this world. And you are designed to then share that with other people. And so I forget, what were you doing in corporate?
Operations. I was in the power industry space. So, but I was leading teams. My biggest strength, I always had big teams. And my last one was a big cross-functional global team.
Okay, great. And so, okay, good. So it's interesting. You have a very intellectual side too, which I'm going to share in a moment, but this embodiment piece, and I think that's why the team piece was so fulfilling for you, because people are feeling you. So when you have this gift, or this energy center, you can see, I actually have it too. And you can see I'm like a hand talker, and I'm always like, right. And so because we're so in tune with our bodies and so in tune with energy and healing and all of those things, whether we label them that, we actually have that intuitive ability. And so I think as you are leading your teams, you were likely tapping into that, and people for you need to feel you. We'll talk about the intellectual part after, because you have that smarty pants, super smart intellectual ability as well, which is excellent. You actually have a really cool combo, but people have to feel you. And so for you, so a couple of things for you yourself, you being, and I think you said this just a moment ago, if you're too much in your head, that is actually like kryptonite to you. So when I share sort of soul gifts with people, there's like here's what you're really good at, and here's really what you don't want to have. And so, yeah, I would say to everybody, is too much in their head and overthinking. But for you, it's literally like your kryptonite. So if you are too much in your head overthinking things, so you can think about this in your personal life or your business. if you're always trying to figure things out, that is actually, I'm going to say, almost toxic to you. You actually need to be in your body. You need to be in the energy of doing things and then sort of seeing where they land versus trying to figure them out and think about them. And if you are find yourself really stuck in your head or really being too intellectual, the invitation is you actually need to really be in your own body. So athletics, any kind of stuff that you do to get into your own body is super, super key. Being in nature, travel, new environments, all of this is so vital for your life force energy. And so if you are noticing a depletion within yourself, and so again, I'm just sort of sharing this globally, to the group, we can feel that sort of depletion of ourselves. And this specifically for you is get yourself outside, get yourself moving, get yourself in a different environment. And yeah, if you are sitting too much behind the desk, that's actually not good for you. Like it's a very,
Yeah, okay, my husband would agree with that.
and it will,
get out, go outside.
Yes, and I want to say this too, and this always lands with people. It will create lack. So whatever you want to define lack as, lack of clients, lack of business, lack of money, lack of joy, lack of whatever it is, it actually is going to be the thing that will create lack. So when you are out in the world and when you are engaging and as you're doing these lives and engaging with people and people are seeing and feeling, I know you're behind your computer to do this, but you can do this in person or you can do it like this. People do need to feel you. So for you, I just want to say this, like this whole series is fantastic for you where people get to see you, they get to feel your energy. It's not so much about what you say, it's about how people feel in your presence. And so even in your marketing, you want to actually be doing things where you're on camera, where you are on video, where people can have an experience of you. I know you have a membership site or a membership community, actually, which is even better. So you're actually guiding people and people are having a very felt experience with you. And so that's really, really amazing. Because you create success and abundance by helping other people really enjoy their physical experience as well. Okay. So that's kind of like the first little piece. I just giving you a little bit of an overview. There's another side I want to share, but I just wanted to offer if there's any questions or comments.
No, that feels right. It really does, because I always enjoyed like the collaboration opportunity. Like what my best times when I was working in corporate were when I was working with teams. And my absolute best was there was like 5 female leaders and we all ran a region. We ran that business. I mean, we were just crushing it because we were always collaborating and feeding off each other and doing those things. So I think actually the switch from corporate to entrepreneurship, one of the most difficult things is the aloneness, right? So that has been something that I've had to work through and struggle. So what you're saying, actually, it resonates as spot on. And it's a good reminder to do more things like this.
Yes. And bring in that team leading energy into what you're doing. So right now you're inviting in guests, right? We are connecting, we're collaborating before we do this conversation. You're bringing in an audience, right? So all of this and your membership community is like you are leading in community, right? And so there's a real beauty, I think, and a physical presence and a connection to the physical body, right? For you. And so I'm going to share the second piece with you if that's good.
Yeah.
I want to be mindful of our time and all of that. So the other part of you is that you're actually very highly mentally oriented. So it's an interesting combo. So I'm saying, don't be too stuck in your head. You actually have a skill for it. So it's actually, so for you, you're going to notice the balance, right? One of them is like, I'm going to use my strategic mind and I'm going to really sort of, it has served me well. You know, when you're in that flow and when you're in the like spinning mind, overthinking, totally stuck in your head, disconnected from your intuition, your body, your energy, then that's actually what you don't want to have, right? But this you do have a high intellect, you can be very innovative in your field. And so I think, again, what you're kind of creating is innovative, right? And so really just allow that to be truth. Because of this intellect, you can actually almost be like an engineer, and especially of mindset. And I think you also do it with body. So I feel like, again, what you're doing is very aligned, and I'm just kind of pinpointing the alignment for you. So yeah, I think I'll just say that for now. You actually are a very good teacher, and you become very masterful at the subject matter that you're teaching. You become maybe passionate about it, but you're also very expert energy. So when you choose to teach and share about something, it's done with a high level of, I'll say, integrity, but also like focus. So that when you're sharing something, this is not just fluff that you're sharing or random pieces you're throwing together. It's actually sort of thoughtfully, I'll say, curated and really understood, so that you're able to really offer it in a way that is very accessible for people. And so I will say a couple of things for you marketing. So watch being overly intellectual, um, even in your marketing,
Mm.
because what can happen is you can come across as, um, maybe, what do I want to say here? I wrote a word down. I can't remember what it was, but almost like superior, right? You
Ooh.
could, if you write, and I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying you could, right? So just watch that. And when you write from an intellectual place, I'm just giving you some things to think about.
Yeah, it's
Um,
great.
when you write from an intellectual place, you will attract people who get it intellectually, but they don't invest, because that connection around the emotional component is maybe not there, or they're just like, oh, that sounds really good.
Oh,
And then they are like, that looks really good. She's probably really good at this. And I'm not going to hit join, right? So that's right.
well,
That's
that's not what we want.
no, of course not, right? And so this is where you, in fact, you actually have this beautiful balance. So that if you're in your body, if you're in your energy, if you're in your own emotional experience of your own journey through all the things that you've been, and you infuse that in, it will connect with people on more of an emotional level. And then you're going to still, that intellectual intelligence that you have is going to come through. So people, you're not going to have to worry about it not being that, because it's actually your gift. So so it's just something to think about. I feel like, so in terms of, say, marketing and expanding your reach, I think the idea of a community feels very aligned for you, where you are leading people and guiding. Because I have the same gift as you, primary one, we are guiders. Like, I even call myself a guide, right? We are leading people often very experientially through things, or we learn experientially. And then you also have this intellectual, like, here's a program, or however you've structured it, because you've thoughtfully put something together. So you have this really great combination. So what you're doing is great. And then as how you market it, again, is blending those two things. So being where people can feel you, not just read what you're writing. And yeah, I think it's like, seeing you, testimonials are really fantastic for marketing for you. um, Having people talk about their experience. Yeah, my invitation is to play with video for sure, because it's
Okay.
definitely a highly effective marketing way to bring people into your world.
Okay.
Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, you are a seeker of greater knowledge, and you like the study of human potential, right?
I
And
do. Yeah.
and you're doing it through the vehicle of the body, which actually makes sense. You're actually combining your two gifts really beautifully. So I think I will just sort of leave it at that for now. And if you have any questions, you can ask, but it's just showing you the alignment that you're already on, your own intuitive guidance that has sort of led you here. You just had this moment of being aware of, like, oh yeah, it can be lonely, and I do like when I'm doing this and I'm in my body. So that allows you just to bring that in. So the
Yeah.
path is right. And now it's about continual refinement and alignment to actually this is how you're designed. This is your blueprint. It's how you're designed to thrive. So we
Okay.
can do things in other ways. That's why I get mad when people are like, just follow my blueprint. And I mean, there are good blueprints, but we all have our own blueprint for
Right.
success, right? So yeah, so I just wanted to share that. There's even, I mean, I'm giving you a little snippet of your soul. We even manifest differently, each of us. And our business even has an energy. So, right, there's so many little refinements that we can get around the uniqueness of who we are and how we are designed to really
Okay.
thrive.
Wow. Wow. That feels so spot on. It is incredible because I always, maybe I used to say, because I'm a Libra, right? I see the balance. So I'm always kind of vacillating between one side and the other. And I get what you're saying, because I traditionally, like when I post things, it's more like long form content, which can be maybe more on that intellectual side. And I worry that I come across as like, I don't know, too serious, I think is how I think about it. Right. So people aren't getting me. So yeah, I mean, the video and the live stuff, it's a little scary. I'll be honest, but I think with practice, it's a good thing, and that feels right. And something else resonated that you said. Oh, I guess it was because of the community membership, how it was put together. Because when most people think membership, they think, oh, I'm just going to pay, $10 a month and I'm going to join this thing and I'll get some resources. But from where I came from, of a place of doing one-on-ones for so long, I didn't want to lose that element of touch, of really knowing who the people were in my community. And I think it's super important for every woman to feel heard and to have a session to get them kicked off so I can get their path right. Then they can go into the community and learn from others and make friends in that community to learn. But then still, we're having group coaching. We're doing live trainings together. And then if they still want that little 15-minute nugget of special Gen time, they can do that. And that's a very interesting, it's a hybrid program. And I actually had somebody ask me about that. Well, it's not really a membership, is it? I said, well, it is, but it's got all these other elements in it that I think are, I thoughtfully constructed them in terms of how I would feel if I was just signed up for a membership and you're just given a video and then you have nobody to discuss it with or ask questions or things like that. So yeah, but the getting into the body and getting out from behind the computer, that's a good reminder. It's a good wake-up call. I love that.
It will just open. I'll just tell you, one of the words, like experience is a good one. Flow is actually so you hear people talk about flow and I'm like, nope, that's my word. Like it's our energy. That's actually what we are designed to create flow and help people create flow. Like in the work I do with people, I help clear the crap, but it's to create flow. Like that's actually, and so your body and you, right? As you move your body and get into your body, you will open flow, and flow looks like energy. It looks like creativity. It looks like inspired ideas. It looks like people coming in the doorway, right? It's like you could be out for a walk and in nature and being in your body, and then all of a sudden you have like 5 new people sign up for something, right? So it doesn't even have to be connected. It's how we create, we help it for other people, but for ourselves, really, that's the last thing I will say for you is really take that in for yourself. Because it will, you're obviously already vital and energetic. So it's not so much about that, but it's about that flow state, right? And we all want to be in flow state. And you're going to get into flow state when you are in your body.
Yeah. No, I love that. That means keep with the breath work too.
For sure.
Really can kind of get you, depending on what you are and what you need in that period of time. Did you breathe on it? Right? Did you breathe on it?
Sure, yes.
So let me see if we have any questions here from that. So Nina's on. Hey, Nina. Oh, Nina's loving this. Okay. Yeah. Andra's awesome. And Marcelo, hey, from Brazil. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that so much. So Nina, any questions specifically for Andra? You should go ahead and pop them in if you want to. And if you are joining from any other platform, if you're joining from Facebook or if you're joining from YouTube, maybe you're just coming into this later, just remember this was our premiere episode. This is a new series. I haven't decided if it's going to be every Wednesday or every other. Now it's making me feel like I should do it every Wednesday. And having guests on to talk about things that are relevant to women as we're going through these midlife changes. It's not just about what's changing in our bodies. It's what's changing in our thoughts, in our minds, in our relationships, in our careers, and really giving a forum to talk about these things. And I want to have more amazing guests on like Andra so that you can find resources, find people to connect with. So if you let me go ahead and put up the banner. So if anyone is interested in having a little snippet that I just got done, having it done for you, you can see under this. So if somebody signs up for this link, what are they doing here?
So this is actually, it's a very, I feel like my work is best experienced being experience it versus me telling you what it is. So it's actually like an hour-long complimentary session. I won't be going into the soul gifts in that. That's sort of a separate little thing. If you are interested in soul gifts reading, you could just message me and I'll give you a link. I have some really very different levels of options for people to come in and have that experience. But this is a conversation one-on-one with me, and it's you'll leave transformed, because I don't just talk to you, I actually take you through things. And so it's really to help you really amplify your personal power, because that's my passion in the world. So yeah, it's a complimentary session, and I will ask you some questions. And if that feels like too much, you can just reach out to me and we can do something differently, like a 30-minute chat, or I can definitely link you to some of the soul gifts opportunities.
So if I'm a woman and I'm thinking about going for a new promotion or a new job, but I'm just not really sure if it feels like, or if I'm conflicted really about any, say, professional or personal decision, what type of conversation with you would be best?
I think this is still a great conversation to have, because it opens the door, and if it feels like then we want to dive into the soul gifts a little bit, then we can do that after.
Great.
Yeah.
No, for me, I think it was, I'm not sure, like you said, it wasn't stuff that I didn't already know, but having it presented to me in this way was like a huge wake up call, and a huge, well, of course that makes sense, right? Or, oh, this is why I do that. So, and honestly, we were just talking about, before we went live, Andrew, and I was mentioning that I had seen an opportunity to do something with my membership, and I was considering it. And now I think the answer is no, I don't need that. I'm not going to overly think that. I'm just going to go with what I'm doing. I'm going to be out there more. I'm going to make people, I want people to feel like, feel comfortable. I want to increase what they call it, know, like, and trust factor, right? So that people are encouraged to at least get on the phone and have a conversation, because that is an action step. Nothing that says if you get on the phone with any coach here on LinkedIn, because there's so many amazing people who offer professional services, just getting on and having that conversation so that you know what's available. Then just make a decision, yes or no. Don't die in decision fatigue and never make a decision. Just say, yes, that feels right. No, it doesn't. Move on, find something else. But waiting in that inaction period, that indecision, being that fence setter, I find that exhausting and the worst place. And so you kind of highlighted that for me. It says, no, get out, make a decision, get in your body, be into action. So being in your body could just be, signing up for a session and having a conversation with somebody and finding out if what they offer can help you with whatever this next challenge is for you. So,
yes. And I think for you, I just feel like I need to throw this in there. Just, I don't know, just kind of came through. Yeah. So it's like, if you were reaching out and people listening to your voice, or doing a voice message or a video message, is actually going to be really resonant for people versus, a copy and paste. Not to say that you're doing that, but that's what a lot of people do, right? Copy paste. Here's my link. Sign up for this, and we can do that, right? But I think there's a power in making this connection where people actually feel very held and very connected to you. That is actually what is magnetic, right? And so I do very little marketing, getting better, but I have had a lot of referrals, and people just are like, I don't know, I don't even know what you do, but I feel like I want to lean in, I want to come. So, and again, we have the same, I'm saying me because we have the same energy center, right? And so that sort of is our magic. It's not so much what we say, it's about how we sort of hold space and what our energy feels like. And people are like, I don't know what it is, but I like that, and I want to be a part of that. So
yeah,
I wanted to offer that.
I love that. Let's see. We have a question here. Yes, sign me up. I would love that. Nina, how do I get past all my health problems? Nina, is that a question for me or Andra? And so I'm not sure which. She's still on. Yes. So here is, if somebody wants to apply to work with me in the membership, you can go to this link, which is just paperbell.me/Jen Ockman. And again, you can always just send either one of us a DM. I mean, we're on LinkedIn every day. It's my favorite platform. No offense, YouTube or Facebook friends, but LinkedIn is my favorite platform for sure. So anything else that you want to leave as a parting thought for the broadcast?
Yeah, I think, just really honor yourself for where you are in life. I remember someone saying, like, I just went into menopause like 2 months ago.
Right, right.
Yeah. And so, but I remember people saying it's a thing. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Right. And so it's a thing. Right. And so, whatever that thing is for you and however it manifests for you, whether it's your body, your energy, whatever it is, you need to revitalize yourself. Um, Honor that, acknowledge that part for yourself. And yeah, I think get as much support as you can. I don't know. My friends and I, we're always talking about menopause. Like, I'm like, we're going to do really good things for the next generation because we're like, I'm going to talk about this and here's what's going on. And so I think, and that's why I think your community is such a great thing, because it actually feels very held and supportive and guided and collaborative and communication and community based, where women can actually have real conversations about what's showing up. And so I think I think this opening of the doorway, Naomi Watts has done a really great job of sort of opening these kind of conversations. And so I think, I love that this is happening now. And I think just really honor where you are and intuit what kind of support you need, whether that is better water, working in a program, working with a coach, getting outside, whatever it is, cutting back your work hours, right? Just
Yeah.
intuit and listen to that. It's important. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And you're right. Menopause is having a moment. And
Mm-hmm.
it's about time. And I really, I love this kind of upsurge in communication. I love the upsurge in books, just overall in conversation. I mean, it's really, really getting out there. And there's just then that opens up. There's so many other topics that are coming up, right? To use HRT, hormone replacement therapy, or not. Is it good? Is it bad? What type of workout that we need to do? How should I be thinking about my food now? I'm so stressed. I can't eliminate stress. What do I need to do about it? So these are all great conversations that are going on. They're conversations that I want to bring to this live series. And they're definitely ones that I'll be having inside the Modern Midlife Women community. So Andra, thank you so much for
Yes,
being
thank you.
with me today. I appreciate the soul reading, and I'm sure I'll reach back out with some other questions. And for Nina, especially for yours, I would recommend just going out and reaching out to Andra so that you guys can figure out the best session to have. And thank you all so much for being here for the very first episode. The next episode is going to be a great guest. I've got Mandy White is going to be with me. She is a certified gut health expert and ex-celebrity fitness trainer. So she and I are going to be answering some of the just basically the most common or top 5 questions that I get from women around the topic of midlife when we're talking about health and wellness. So look forward to seeing that. And again, I hope to see everybody on an episode. Thank you so much for joining today. We're signing off. Thanks, Andra, so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks. Happy to be here.